There comes a moment in life when everything feels the same. You wake up, follow the same routine, see the same streets, talk about the same things, and slowly, without even realizing it, something inside you begins to feel smaller. Not because your life is bad, but because it has stopped expanding. And that's where travel begins. Not as an escape, but as a return. A return to curiosity. A return to wonder. A return to the version of you that once looked at the world with open eyes. Travel is not just about going somewhere new. It's about seeing differently. When you step into a place you've never been before, something shifts. The language may be unfamiliar. The food may taste different. The people may live in ways you don't understand. And for the first time in a long time, you are not in control. You are learning again. And that's where growth lives. Because growth doesn't happen when everything is comfortable. It happens when you are slightly lost, slightly unsure, but fully present. Travel teaches you how to be present, not because you're trying to, but because you have to. You notice the small things. The way sunlight touches a street in the morning. The sound of footsteps in a quiet alley. The smile of a stranger who doesn't speak your language, but understands your humanity. And suddenly, life feels real again. Not rushed, not automatic, but alive. Travel breaks the illusion that your way is the only way. You start to see that people can live completely different lives and still find happiness. Some have less, yet feel more fulfilled. Some move slower, yet feel more at peace. Some prioritize connection over achievement. And without anyone telling you, you begin to question your own life. Not in a negative way, but in a freeing way. You ask yourself, what truly matters to me? What kind of life do I really want to live? Am I chasing something because I want it, or because I was told to want it? Travel doesn't give you answers, but it gives you better questions. And sometimes, that's even more powerful. Because a good question can change the direction of your entire life. There's also something else that travel gives you. Perspective. When you step outside your environment, your problems don't disappear, but they change size. Things that once felt overwhelming suddenly feel manageable, not because they are smaller, but because you are seeing them from a wider view. You realize that the world is bigger than your worries, that life is happening everywhere, in ways you've never imagined. And somehow, that makes your heart lighter. Travel humbles you. It reminds you that you are not the center of everything. And strangely, that is where peace begins. Because when you stop trying to control everything, you start to experience everything. There will be moments during your travels when things don't go as planned. You miss a train. You get lost. You feel alone in a place where no one knows your name. And in those moments, you meet yourself, not the version shaped by routine or expectations, but the real you, the one who adapts, the one who finds a way, the one who keeps moving, even when it's uncomfortable. Travel builds a quiet kind of confidence. Not loud, not showy, but deep. The kind that says, I've been lost before, and I found my way. And that changes how you face life. You stop fearing uncertainty. Because you've learned that uncertainty is not the end. It's just the beginning of something new. Travel also connects you to people. Not through shared language, but through shared moments. A meal. A laugh. A simple act of kindness. You begin to understand that beneath all the differences, we are more alike than we think. We all want to feel seen. We all want to feel understood. We all want to feel that we belong. And sometimes, it takes traveling far away to realize that connection has always been close. There's a quiet beauty in realizing that the world is not as divided as it seems. That kindness exists in places you've never been. That strangers can become part of your story without even trying. Travel teaches you to let go of expectations, of rigid plans, of the need to always be right. Because the more you hold on, the more you miss. And the more you allow things to unfold, the more life surprises you. Some of the best moments in travel are the ones you didn't plan. The unexpected conversation, the hidden place you accidentally find, the feeling of standing somewhere and knowing this moment will stay with you forever. Travel doesn't just give you memories. It reshapes you. You return home, but you are not the same person who left. You carry new perspectives, new stories, new ways of thinking. And even though your environment looks the same, you see it differently. Because once your mind has expanded, it cannot shrink back to its old shape. You become more open, more understanding, more aware. You start to appreciate things you once ignored. The comfort of your own space. The people who have always been there. The small details of everyday life. Travel teaches you to value both the world outside and the life you've built inside. It's not about escaping your life. It's about enriching it. Because the goal is not to run away, but to come back with a deeper sense of who you are. There will always be reasons not to travel. Not enough time. Not enough money. Not the right moment. But here's the truth. There will never be a perfect time. Life will always be busy. Responsibilities will always exist. But your time, your energy, your ability to experience the world, that is not unlimited. And one day, you will look back, not at the things you bought, not at the routines you followed, but at the moments that made you feel alive. The places that changed your perspective. The experiences that helped you grow. And you will realize that the value of travel was never in the destination. It was in the transformation. So travel more. Not to impress others, but to discover yourself. Not to escape life, but to understand it. Not because it's easy, but because it's worth it. Because somewhere out there is a version of you waiting to be discovered. A version that is braver, wiser, more open, more alive. And the journey to find that version starts with a single step. A step outside your comfort zone. A step into the unknown. A step toward a life that feels bigger, deeper, and more meaningful. Travel more, and you will realize That the world was never just a place to see. It was a place to become. If this message resonates with you, follow and subscribe to Deep Talks with Dean, and let's continue exploring life, one deeper conversation at a time.